What is going down, everyone? It's Fanatics Fest week, and this is episode 394 of Mojobreak.com, The Hype. We are so excited to head down to New York. We're going to be set up. We've got one of the biggest breaks that's happening in New York. It's our 50 box live on Fanatics, live on Saturday, guys. It is insane. We've got all the biggest baseball releases all in one break. It's a case of Definitive, a case of Diamond Icons, a case of Top Sterling, a case of Triple Threads, a case of Tier 1, a case of Chrome Black. There's Luminaries, there's Gilded Collection. It's all one big break. Somebody's going to win a free case in that break as well. And it's pick your player. So you can go on there and get a player as low as $50 right now. And it's going to be one of the biggest breaks. We're also going to be doing buyback packs for $50 at the booth, where you get a $50 gift card for Mojobreak.com and a card and a pack. It's like an amazing deal. We're going to have to limit those to like maybe 2 or 3 per customer.
Actually, they sold out last year.
They sold out
within like the first day.
It's nuts. So if you're down there. Also, we're going to be doing stuff online. If you can't make it, you can join us on the Fanatics Live platform, get into some auctions of some. We're doing a lot of first off the line basketball on there. So, and we're also going to be having a free break to sign up for all you guys that can't make it to Fanatics Fest. So details on that. We're also on this show. We're going to have Ian McKesson, sketch artist of Top Series 2. I think he's done some Star Wars stuff as well. So great conversation with Cody. That will be at the end of the show. So great interview. Stay tuned for that, guys. And he kind of breaks it down. It's an awesome listen. So and check out Mojobreak.com. We got a lot of new stuff this week as we're sitting here. Marvel Chrome has been released. Topps Marvel Chrome, the U.S. version. So the first time it's landed in the U.S. and there's already a lot of hype. I think boxes are already $500 or $600. We've got Inception Baseball this week. And it's 2024. So it's, it's your Jackson Holiday, it's your Paul Skeens, it's the 2024 rookie class, so that should be awesome. Lots of fun stuff, man.
Select basketball as well.
Select basketball, you can't forget about that, 24-25.
Don't forget about select. I mean, that kind of snuck up, by the way. Like, I feel like they got added to the schedule maybe last week, where it was like, hey, select basketball's coming this week.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And, 24-25 Topps Chrome was actually pretty decent for the price points.
Very
Seeing
decent.
People hit some superfractors. I know Cody got a superfractor on the
crazy
Mojobreak Media.
in our box break was pretty nuts. Also, we did a box break of Topps Chrome Marvel, and again, we swear. I know the commenters are gonna be like, another juiced box from you guys. We swear they aren't. We just pick them out. We got a. I'm gonna go on a limb. I think it is maybe my favorite card design of the year. The Claude Chrome Adamantium Parallel. So we're opening the box and I'm like, oh cool, we got some like cool little die cut, because I didn't realize that's literally there is like claw marks in the card where you could see through the card and you can like feel through the card, and it was a red Thanos version of it. It was just insane. The card is beautiful and the design.
How does that affect the
insane.
grading?
It's just in the middle.
It's in the middle, so it shouldn't affect. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Surface.
You're right. There it is. So it looked great, though. It's just the design itself. I think it's one of the coolest, most unique designs they've done, and I love it. I want to. I want to marry it. So much I love it. Yeah. I want to get a version for like even like the lowest numbered version though is like numbered to 20. So those are going to be pretty hard to
and they're case
find.
hits, I hear, right?
They are case hits, yes, one per case. But
and
very cool.
Dan made it back from Half Dome, huh? You made it?
Survived to
Made
tell
it
the tale.
back at sea level.
You did it.
I
Do it
did
again?
Congratulations.
You gonna do that
Sincerely.
Would I do it again? No.
Yeah.
No. You do it? Yeah. No.
That seems so. Yeah, that seems like the right way to go about it.
Stoked I finished it. Stoked we all finished it. But yeah, it's a one and done for sure.
Yeah.
The group I went with, they're already talking about what else can we do. I'm like, well, we kind of started kind of at the top.
So now it's like, well,
so now we have
how about Everest?
Yeah, no, literally, that's like what we were joking about. And I'm like, well, we can't. Like
No.
we can't do that.
Here's the thing: is Yosemite Falls, which is a very popular hike. It's also a tough hike. That's going to be a cakewalk for you if you want to ever go back to Yosemite and do some.
I think
hikes.
we went through so many different trails trying to get back to.
You might have done it.
We might have done it.
See any
But we
see any
definitely did
animals?
on the way back. We did do the John Muir Trail,
That's a very
which is a very popular one. You get misted by the waterfall walking through a little
nice
area. I will say first time I ever been to Yosemite. There's nothing quite like it. You can't even really describe. It's like
best.
everywhere you look, it's like a picturesque, like postcard. Like it's just insane. If you like waterfalls, it's like so many waterfalls. If you're into it,
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah.
Good
Go chase 'em.
waterfalls. We used to go. Yeah, when I was younger, we would go like every summer. There was like a campsite just outside of the valley. To drive about 30 minutes inside, but lots of going down the river, going on the hikes. watering holes.
I did
Good
take
times.
and I don't know why I did this to myself, but I did take the EV again.
What? You didn't learn.
I did not learn.
Charging?
That said,
Dude,
though,
yeah,
once you're in the valley, I'd imagine the valley has a good amount of EV chargers,
Nope.
right? Really?
Groveland,
Which is the closest
Which-
big,
which is the only
big, quote unquote,
which is
town.
the only place that you can get a fast charger. And Doug will know this, and you'll probably know, if you don't plug into a fast charger, you're pretty much not charging your car.
right.
Like it is, you'll get like 1% on in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's useless.
Just plug it into the wall, basically.
You're plugging it into the wall. So yeah, Groveland. I went there twice. Once there and once on the way back. I'm part of the community now.
Went to a nice little pizza spot there. Whatever last time.
I went to a diner.
Yeah,
and
not quite New York pizza.
I went to a
but-
diner, had a burger. It was delicious. But I was also completely out of my mind from what I had
Anything
done.
would have tasted good.
anything. Yeah, it didn't. It could have been a boot. I would have been like, "This is delicious.
Great.
The greatest boot ever."
Well, and before we get into more Fanatics Fest stuff, I wanted to talk about how us Giants fans had a great Father's Day yesterday with getting Rafael Devers.
Even with the Dodgers, even with the loss, who
Yeah,
cares?
it doesn't matter.
We punted yesterday's game.
Didn't matter. But I want to, before we dissect this, I wanted to kind of put our collector's hats on. If you're a Devers collector and you have his rookie autos and Topps Chrome rookie autos and stuff like that, are you disappointed at this point that he went to the Giants, or do you think there's more upside now?
I think there's at least a little bit. There's disappointment. Let's be honest. I'm not. Look, Giants fans, be excited. You should have every reason to be stoked. This is the best hitter they've acquired since Barry Bonds. Is that too crazy to say?
Best trade. I mean, there's been Chris
Don't.
Bryant.
I'm not saying
and
he's Barry
Beltran.
Bonds.
Don't compare him to Barry.
I'm not
Bonds.
saying he's Barry Bonds, but I'm saying
You would have to get
then and now?
5 Rafael Devers to
Sure.
make one Barry.
But,
Bonds.
yeah,
is
but
it-
since '93,
It's the biggest.
Yeah.
It's the biggest hitter acquisition this team has
Since
made
Chris Bryant.
But that's not the same. That was a half season. You knew it was over.
Yeah,
When
we got him for 8 years.
they got and versus Devers is going to. They say this is the thing they always say, like when Harper signed with the Phillies and then when Mookie got traded to the Dodgers. Oh, they're going to remember him as a Philly now. They're going to remember him as a Dodger now. They're going to remember Rafael Devers as a Giant now.
He has to win a championship
That-
because he
sure.
won
He
a
did
championship in Boston.
He did. But
I do got to say, generally, it doesn't. I don't feel like Boston fans are excited about this trade.
no,
No.
they're pissed.
They're not going out and getting their Kyle Harrison jerseys.
No.
Yeah.
or James Tibbs the third.
Yeah, they're not lining up. It's been just I know this isn't the same front office that made the Mookie Betts deal, but it is the same ownership, and I'm pretty sure that the Betts thing was signed off by ownership. Say you got to trade him because we ain't signing him.
But is there a chance that they can be really focusing on the youth movement? They kind of have a log, like a backlog of young talent that's coming up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's best to
So from
get out of the Devers contract, and they may be making. I doubt it, but this could be a way to free up some cash and try to go after Kyle Tucker.
I'm sure, but now that you have done this, not only with Devers after you back out of signing him to be the face of your franchise, and with Mookie, where everybody who was a Red Sox fan said, just pay the man because you're the Boston Red Sox. You're not You're not the Pittsburgh Pirates. You have the money. Go do it. And why would a Kyle Tucker want to sign there? Why would Roman Anthony want to sign a big extension? They're just looking at it like, you just kicked your two faces of your franchise out of town. And
I mean, and Xander Bogaerts too. If you want to,
you didn't pay Xander. If you want to, yeah, exactly. All these guys they could have paid, and they just
it's also crazy that
backed out.
It was a 10-year deal that didn't have a no trade clause.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even think about that part. You're right.
Like you would think that if Devers was going to sign that long of a contract, there would have been a no trade clause in there.
It makes me think, and I said this on Twitter, it makes me think that there was more to the story about him not wanting to play first, third, whatever it was. He was just in disagreement because they had just swept the Yankees. They swept the Yankees. They're one game over 500.
Yep.
And the trade deadline is like 45 days away. Like, wouldn't you just kind of wait and see where you sit come July 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and be like, okay, well, maybe now we're 10 games over 500.
Right.
And Devers just went on a tear, hit 10 home runs in July. I don't know. It just unless Posey was like, we will pay the full contract remaining right now, or you don't do the deal. Or maybe he pushed their hand in. We don't know what those negotiations went, but it just seems like when you have the time, and then the funny thing is the Giants are playing the Red Sox
this week.
Like, you could have waited for that. Like now you're gonna have you're gonna have your guy possibly like hitting walk-offs against you. It's just like, jeez,
I'm just looking, by the way, I do remember with Devers' Bowman's, he's one of those, I believe his first is the same year as Chris Bryant's, but I don't think he has autos in there. He has autos in 2015. 14 is his first.
14 is his first chrome, and then 15, it's his first chrome auto.
First auto. So that's something, if you are a Giants fan out there who's like, oh, I want to grab some of Rafael Devers, keep that in mind. Don't get confused. 14, you are going to find his first, but not any of the autos out there.
15 is his 15 Bowman Chrome is, and it doesn't have the first Bowman logo on it, but that's his first Bowman, and then he has 2018 Bowman Chrome.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, but it's Superfractor 2021 sold for $78,500 back in 2021. The fact is, like, the offensive numbers are probably going to take a tick down. Like, he had a lot of doubles off the wall in Fenway. And I was looking at his, we were looking at a spray chart.
Yep.
And there are a lot of doubles there where I'm like, that's a single or a fly ball. at every other ballpark. It's not even just San Francisco, like every other ballpark other than here.
Well,
but
they were doing the spray chart on the telecast, on the Fox telecast, and they were, or ESPN.
Yeah.
I think it was ESPN. And a lot of those would have been home runs.
Yeah, there's some of that would. And, well, if you're looking at towards right field, splash landing, here we come. That should not be.
But also, they probably don't have the wind that we have as well.
There's wind factors and all this, but look,
there's Lucille. Yeah. I mean, who the Red Sox? Do they have a mascot?
Yeah, Wally. The Green Monster.
Oh, that's right.
When they've been hitting home runs, they put on the big Wally. It's kind of horrifying. Big old Wally head when they hit a home run. And watching yesterday, I saw the highlight where he
get rid of these mascots.
Serious.
You need to get rid of all of them.
Well, hey, whatever. I'm pro mascot. He hit the home run in that game, which he hit a home run in that game. He goes back and sits down almost as if the look on his face. I don't know if he already knew. Like, a player of his magnitude with that contract, I have to think he must have known something was coming. The look on his face was kind of like, well, this is it. That might have been it for me.
It just, a disagreement over a position doesn't, justify,
but they
trading your face of your franchise.
But he gets traded to a team where he's going to be in the same situation.
Now, I think, too, part of it is the communication. It sounded like there was a communication breakdown, as much as it was hey, we're going to get you out of your position, even though we just made you our franchise star, which I sure irked him. Like, hey, we have our best player is a third baseman. What do we need this offseason? How about a third baseman? Like, it was. I'm sure that
we're living in the world of the DH.
Right.
I mean, who's a better defender?
It's Bregman.
Bregman or Devers?
It's Bregman.
And who's the better defender, Chapman or Devers?
It's Chapman.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I don't disagree with that.
You hit home runs. You're a DH now.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think there's something to be said about, like, communicating this stuff better. Remember, and this goes into sort of the difference between the idea of like analytics driven versus the player driven, where you got to find that middle ground. Where I think, like, remember with the when Carlos Correa got signed, but for the brief moment with the Giants and the Zaidi front office, a day, and Brandon Crawford got informed a day later, you're moving to third, and he played it off nicely. But if you talk to him afterwards, that did not sit well with him. Like, that he just was told, sorry, you're not the shortstop anymore. Like, really quickly.
It was,
because there is the feeling of, like,
he wasn't.
But he's won 3 World Series.
I get it.
He wasn't Crawford that we know and love.
But there's a communication there that I think they messed up on. Whereas, like, I think he thought, if you had told me that at the beginning of the offseason, hey, look, we're going to go after some guys. We're going to go after the best players. If it's a shortstop, are you okay moving? You know, I think it's things like that. So I think that is as much a problem as the actual move to say, sorry, you're not our guy anymore, even though we made you the face of our franchise.
Now, let's take our Homer hats off. Is Devers a top 10 bat in Major League Baseball?
I think so. He's at least a top 15. If you want to really not be a super homer, 15, but I think he's a top 10 guy.
Definitely instantly the best hitter on our team.
Instantly. He's an instant threat.
Very well could make that line. Could make the other hitters a lot better.
He's that kind of guy.
They're going to be hitting with, pitcher in the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like runners on. Like, it's going to make that lineup a lot better.
It's.
I don't think we're done though. I think we need one more hitter. We need one more.
Sure, let's go nuts.
Well, I was definitely worried, and this has definitely been a Homer segment, but you guys know why. I mean, how many times are you going to be able to talk to Rafael Devers, talk about Rafael Devers being on your team? But, I was saying, like, I felt like we were pitching above our means for this first, 50, 60 games, and I feel like there was going to be a fall off at some point, and you need some bats, and we've answered that call so far. So hopefully it works out.
For what it's worth,
we need some bats. So we got one.
We got one.
That's a pretty big one, though. It's a pretty big one, though. You get healthy, and suddenly you look at that lineup, you go, that's a lineup.
Let's get another one. Or bring up Eldridge.
There you go. That's what it is.
And it's funny, if you think about the Red Sox trades, they get them as far away from them as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you got the Dodgers with Betts, you got the Padres with Bogarts, and you have, Devers as a Giant. So, I mean, definitely feeding the NL West.
I was going to say, the NL West is the best division of baseball, and we all have the Boston Red Sox to thank for it.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's always those teams that seem to always do trades with each other. And the Giants and Red Sox
have done a few.
The Giants and the Giants and Pirates, Giants and Mariners.
Yep. They're besties.
Yeah.
They're all besties. For what it's worth, Rafi Devers currently 12th in MLB in OPS. He is 7th in on-base percentage right now. And in slugging percentage, he is a top 20. He's 18th in slugging percentage. So, yeah,
and that was with like a bad stretch. He had like a bad stretch.
He had a terrible start to the season. And basically since like the third week of the year, he's been like one of the top 5 hitters in all of baseball. It's been a pretty crazy turnaround.
Not a great clubhouse guy.
We've had a guy on the team.
But I also think that he is really good friends with Willie Adames.
He's very good friends with Willie Adames. Dominic Smith talked about they were teammates, and he said nothing but great things about him. I just think this was a situation where everything...
Change of scenery was needed.
Yeah, the whole offseason got off on the wrong foot for him, where it was like, you told me I'm the guy. You assured me I'm your third baseman for the next at least 8 years, and then everything changed, and you asked me to switch positions, not just once, but twice. And I think that just was like, that's it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's almost like you could explain it this way too. Like, say, like we behind Cody's back, we're like trying to find another podcast host, and then all of a sudden you come in here and there's like, oh yeah, hey, there's another podcast host. Without even talking to you.
Do you mind being the designated podcast
yeah,
host
exactly.
instead?
Yeah. Well, it needs you on like every other Wednesday.
Yeah. And
like,
then that guy's
hey.
out. It's like, actually, you mind? Yeah. Like,
Then can you just like run the cables or something? Yeah. It's like you need to include people in these conversations, especially if it's like your main guy, your main star. Like, hey, we're thinking about bringing Bregman in playing third. What do you think?
But I think.
And then if he says, oh well, no, I want to play third, then you have that conversation with them.
But you're you got to be somewhat of a team guy, though. Like, if you being a DH and Bregman playing third base makes the team better, isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
Aren't you trying to win it? Aren't you trying to put the best team out there and win the most games possible?
But if they didn't have a conversation with them, then
look, he did do it. He did say, "All right, I'm the DH. Then you tell me I'm the DH. I'm the DH." I think then the whole like their first baseman gets hurt. Like, hey, you want to head over there? I think that's also where he was like, "Come on, guys!" Like,
it was Casas, right?
You just told me I'm the DH. Like, what do you want? Like, I've never played that position.
Get the catcher's gear on. Let's see. I mean, hey,
see, and the DH is a good gig because they paid him to play both sides of the field, and now he gets to only play half the time. He gets the same amount of money too.
Exactly.
It's a pretty good gig.
And you would think possibly you can get more production out of him offensively by him not playing the field.
I mean, the proof is right here. He's having a career year right now. So the proof is that
maybe
you put him in DH.
Maybe they knew what was best for him.
Maybe they did. But you know what? Now the Giants are going to be the beneficiaries.
And then what was funny was they had a post game. I don't know if you guys watched the post game press conference with Mookie Betts, and it was Father's Day, and they're like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" He's like, "Well, my wife's going to, she said she was going to go home a little early and make me dinner." He's like, "You doing something special?" He goes, "I'm going to hit my bowling alley." And I'm like, "God, we're on different pay structures."
Bowling alley
in the house. He's got a bowling alley in his house.
Bowling alley.
I mean, I know he's a great bowler, but
it's very good.
Just a bowling alley. Like not a real. None of us could be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go, go to my bowling alley after dinner, throw some rocks, down there."
Personal bowling alley. Not bad.
That's crazy.
Not a bad life.
Not a bad life. I mean, he's got the money to do it. But Shohei Ohtani, we're talking about playing both positions. Shohei Ohtani's been a way better hitter without pitching
than pitcher.
Do we think that this is going to affect his hitting stats? And he's probably not going to steal as much anymore now.
It will.
I think this is a bad move. This is a bad move for the Dodgers. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad because it's going to make them. It's gonna hurt Ohtani. There's no way that he's going to be able to put the same offensive numbers if he's going out there and pitching once every 5 days.
I mean, the steals are going to go down. No doubt about that. The steals are going to go down. But
do you think he's going – so let's say he pitches. You think he's going to be in the lineup the next day? Because when he was with the Angels, there was a lot of –
They usually would at least give him one day off. They would give him
1 day off.
Yeah. No, I mean –
so you're getting less Ohtani.
See, I think it's worse for Ohtani because, yes, the offensive numbers are going to dip. It's good for the Dodgers, though, because they have nobody healthy who can pitch right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did you see that stat? So Logan Webb has pitched into the 7th inning 7 games this year.
Yeah.
The entire Dodgers staff, two times. The entire staff.
Right.
Has only pitched into the 7th inning twice.
There are two games in first place.
Sure.
Though.
How good that lineup is. It speaks to how good that bullpen is. But that starting staff is in shambles.
I don't think this is. I'm glad they're doing it, but I don't think it's a good move for the Dodgers.
And I do think it's a good if anybody's worried, like, oh, does he get hurt or not, or whatever. One, his card market is so set, it doesn't really matter what he does.
I don't know. Another elbow injury is not going to make everybody warm and fuzzy who holding on to Ohtani cards.
The mythical, the mythic quality of him, the fact that he's doing this. That's why I'm like, nothing can even.
His card market will stall out for sure if he goes out there and misses another 8 months or year.
But the thing is, even if he gets to get another Tommy John, he can just come back and just be like, all right, I'm just full-time DH going forward, and it will just be fine.
At some point, you get reconstructive elbow surgery. Yeah. It has to affect your swing.
It will. I'm not saying he's going to come out and be 50-50 again.
With the offensive year that he put up last year, I don't think getting him to pitch once every 5 days is worth it.
They obviously seem like they pushed it fast. Like we didn't think we were going to see it this quick.
But again, this is also interesting. The way that Dave Roberts phrased it was Shohei is really anxious. Shohei wants to get this going. Shohei wants this, which...
Who runs the club here?
But because this was always the catch with Shohei. And it's why the Angels were the team that surprised everybody when they signed him initially, because they said, whatever you want, Shohei, you call the shots. We're going to go on this ride with you. And it worked. And now the Dodgers, to their credit, are doing the same thing. saying,
It's
all
like
right.
a bad example. What if Devers comes over and he's like, I want to pitch?
Well, apparently Kike Hernandez, man, he's a beast.
This is
pitching.
Brendan and I have a bet going on currently. Brendan from our shipping department. More innings pitched this year for the Dodgers, Kike Hernandez or Shohei Ohtani? I said Kike, so I think
I didn't even know he was pitching.
He pitched 3 innings the other night.
Well, they were beating us 10-0, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That game. And then there was a game they were losing like 11.
I'm assuming that was Saturday, right?
There was a game they were losing like 11-3 or something against the Padres, and he was in like the 6th inning and pitched 2 and a
Mop-up guy.
third.
Yeah.
He's their mop-up guy. It's
And he wears a
wild.
helmet out there.
Yeah, he wears a helmet.
There's a batting helmet out there when he's pitching.
When
I
he's
don't know
on the
why.
mound.
I have no idea why.
It is wild. Let me. I'm trying to see. Here we go. 4 games, 5 innings so far this year. It's a 9 ERA. Last year, at 4.415 in 4 games.
Jeez.
Not bad.
Kike.
All right.
Well, also at Fanatics Fest, we're going to have some limited of the new shirts, guys. I'm wearing it right now. It's a little 15-year shirt. We've been
cool
breaking
design.
for 15 years. We got a Brian Wilson shirt there. Rest in peace there.
Yeah, the
That's
great
cool.
Brian Wilson.
Did you
one
have
of
that
my dad's
before?
favorites. No, this is actually a gift that my wife got me for Father's Day. So,
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's a really cool shirt. I love it.
That's sick.
One of my dad's favorites, one of my favorites. So, yeah, R.I.P. to the genius, the legend, Brian Wilson.
Yeah, well, who was it? Was it Paul McCartney said that his greatest song ever was with Brian Wilson?
He says that when his daughter asked, or he said that the first song he showed his children was Beach Boys' God Only Knows. He says, this is what a perfect song sounds like. And he's
And that's a lot of people have come out and said that recently.
It's a perfect song. It really is. It's a beautiful song. So it's fun history. Looking back at that era too.
James
with the Beatles
Hetfield came out and said that.
Yeah,
He did?
Yeah.
He said that song is a perfect song?
Yep.
Pet Sounds, close to perfect album. They were almost going to have the follow up for that. That was going to be another legendary album, and then that's a whole other thing. Anyway.
And I'm sad, even being from here, I didn't get a chance to see him. I mean, they were playing the boardwalk a lot, and I never got a chance to.
It probably wasn't him, because this is the thing. If you are ever now, unfortunately, because he's now passed, there's never going to be that confusion. But Brian Wilson did not perform with the Beach Boys from. I think he did like one performance in like the early 2010s, but he and other band co-leader Mike Love do not see eye to eye. So I think they performed together like once in the last like 25, 30 years together. So Brian Wilson would do his own solo performances of all the songs he wrote.
Is Brian Wilson Phillips? Was that one of his kids?
Yes, indeed. That's
Great
his daughter.
song, too. That's an
Great song,
underrated
great
song.
family, great musical family lineage. 3 of the brothers, of course.
Yeah.
Were Carl and Dennis were part of the Beach Boys too.
And I want to say there was somebody that tried out for American Idol that was one of their kids, like a third generation.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
yeah, quite a lineage. So R.I.P. to the legendary Brian.
Well, speaking of music, I cooked up a song for Fanatics Fest. We're also going to talk about our very own Gary is going to be in the Fanatics game. So we're going to weigh out his chances against, Tom Brady.
Is it going to be
Jaden
as
Daniels.
good as God Only Knows?
No, not at all.
Is this going to be the perfect? This is going to be the perfect song.
Actually, I shouldn't even we shouldn't even play it now. We shouldn't even play it. I'm talking
Is
about
this going to
that.
be your opus?
No, but I went to the lab and I had a special guest on there as well. So it's just a verse and a chorus, but it's very New York-like from where it comes from. And we'll do we do these things. We go to events. We do little songs or video montages of the events to put them on reels. But we'll play. Let me know what you guys think. I still need to fix it a little bit. I am kind of more of a I want it to be perfect. But here's kind of the rough outline of it.
All right, let's hear it.
That was good. It's quick.
That was it.
What
did you guys think?
Wait a minute.
It was a quick track. I mean, but I heard where it was going.
Sicker than your average. Mojo rips packs on instinct. Breaks don't stink. Most ink Malik neighbors. My New York players. At Fanatics Fest right next to Brooklyn. Kevin White not as tight. We ripping every night. Mojo been smooth since early YouTube. Never lose. Dylan Cruz. Choose us. And pull Mojo with us. Local mans go through us. Hits come to us. Wanna trade us. Grade us. Who us? Man, nombre es dub. Slapped in Zion cases, snug. 40-40 club. Dare I flip 3 at your step? Curry, pull every one of one easily. Like, wow. Recently, Brady card hunting ain't saying nothing. Maybe get some cleats of a guy on the Chiefs. I used to collect bench sheets or Houston streets. Packing, asking who want it. You got it, collector flaunting. That Fanatics Fest hype, we own it. Rookie, 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 can't you see the type of cards that hypnotize me? And I just love Fanatics Fest days. It's a great show and you'll be amazed. Rookie, 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 can't you see the type of cards that hypnotize me? And I just love Fanatics flashy ways. That's why we stack slabs and we're so paid.
That was my goodness.
Sick.
That was something else.
That was Audrey. Audrey had to get on the track, so
That was
one way or
great.
the other. 7-year-old
Did
Audrey.
you say Ben Sheets?
Ben Sheets
and
in
Houston
Street.
Street.
Whoa. Yeah, the moment I heard I used to collect Ben Sheets in Houston Street.
I think I said Houston Street, so it would rhyme better.
Yeah.
But he probably won't mind that I threw an S on his
That's
name.
fantastic. My God. Yeah, when I heard Malik Neighbors thrown in there, so you got some of the
Guys that are there.
you got New York guys, you got guys who were there, and then Ben Sheets for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll be there, but maybe he will be.
Maybe if he's
Brewer,
maybe
great.
maybe he'll hear this and go, "Hey, thanks for shouting me out on the song." I
Never been in a
appreciate
song
it.
before in my life.
Never been in a rap song and did not think it would happen in the year 2025.
Hey, Ben Sheets was a fantasy stud. He used to have some complete games.
Ben
man.
Sheets, not 20 Ks, but got like 18 or 19 in a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Did Ben Sheets not win a Cy Young?
He never want to say.
Oh.
No.
Did he ever win 20 games?
Let's look at. Oh well, now we got to go down the Ben Sheets baseball reference rabbit hole.
I think he
I mean, 2004
had to be an all-star though.
He was a 4-time All-Star.
Okay.
He was a good player. He was a former Oakland Athletic.
That's
Well,
right.
that's where he
Ended
re-
his career.
That's where he
yeah.
really came into his own.
It's really, yeah, exactly. 25 years old in 2004, 270 RA, 237 innings pitched. They just don't make them like that anymore. 264 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was a
that
flamethrower.
year.
I remember that. Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, there was a game where he.
Where did he fall in the Cy Young voting there?
Eighth. He finished eighth.
Was that the greatest year of the pitcher?
Who was, yeah. Now, wait a minute. Eighth place?
With that many strikeouts.
Eighth place. 12 and 14. This is when they were still like really looking at wins and losses and being like, sorry, you had a losing record. Okay. It's a year where Roger Clemens that year went 18 and 4, a 2.98 ERA. There's an argument to be made he had a better year than Roger Clemens. Randy Johnson struck out 290 batters that year at just the young age of 40. Pretty good. Roy Oswalt, Jason Schmidt.
Oh, that's right.
2004,
Yeah.
18 and 7 with a 3.2, 251 Ks. He actually had just a little more. It was a good
So
year for pitching.
it was a year of the pitcher.
It was a good year.
It was a year for pitcher.
There's a couple guys here, though, that I'm sorry, Ben Sheets is better. Carlos Zambrano did not have as good a year as Ben
Cubs,
Sheets.
yeah.
Carl Pavano is above him.
Carlos
Not better.
Zambrano, the best Zambrano though.
The best Zambrano.
And it was a hell of a hitter. He was like one of the best
Good
pitchers.
hitting
Yeah.
pitcher,
or was
for
it
sure.
Victor that can hit?
Yeah, so.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was
Anyway.
Victor Zambrano.
Look, if I could redo this, Ben Sheets is third on this list, at least, if not second.
That's why he made it in a song. Yeah.
On the podium.
That's why he's there. He's on the podium, for sure. Anyway.
But yeah, Malik Neighbors is going to be there, so I'll have to get a shot of him. 40-40 Club. I actually mentioned Zion cases in there too, so
Nice.
we'll film it out there on Friday. Maybe have you edited it on Friday or something.
Just
so.
be prepared. Another hot one coming to you.
Then we got to think of one for the national, of course, after that. So
Telling
right.
getting to a point where there's going to be an album.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
An album drop.
playlist.
Look, at some point, Mojobreak's greatest hits is coming on a nice
can't.
5-disc set.
You can't start with the greatest hits.
Only available for
get it.
3 easy payments of $19.95.
Yeah, and then the fine folks at
Dude, if
Bad Boy Records, which I don't know who's still there anymore. That's not in a
If we
case.
do that, we got to do one of those infomercials that they used to do for like the 90s
Oh,
hits.
100%.
Oh, dude, just have like
Yeah.
little snippets of all.
Yeah.
of them.
Featuring the best, the hits you love. Yeah.
Like I did it all for the rookie, and with packs wide open.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and Fantastic V Friends Voyage. But so we'll get out there. But let's go over this list. So Fanatics games, the competition. Like I think there's only going to be 50 fans, and there's going to be 50 athletes / wrestlers. I guess those are considered athletes as well.
And like actors
and
Athletic
streamers and stuff. I don't know if you have the list up because mine's scrolling.
DJ Khaled, whatever he falls under. DJ, of course.
So the 8 categories: QB skills, around the world in basketball, so playing a game around the world, FIFA goal scoring, pitching accuracy in baseball, washer dryer puck shooting, which I think our good friend Alex Yamo is going to win that one anyway. Superstar entrance from WWE, striking challenge UFC, and Dick's closest to the pin golf. So 8 different challenges, and if I think somebody's going to win, $1 million or something like that, or $1 million cash for first place.
If they win the whole thing and they beat all the pros as well.
Yes.
They get $1 million, which is going to be tough.
Yeah, going to be tough.
Going to be very tough.
Ferrari 296 GTB is second place. Third place is a LeBron James Topps Chrome Gold Refractor. And if no fan finishes in the top 3, the highest scoring fan will receive $100K. So, all right, let's see. Let's see. All right, Gary, does Gary beat CJ Stroud?
Well, it depends on what it is.
Football throwing competition, it's going to be tough. But let's see. On the other ones, you got QB skills. Okay, that's a wash. Basketball. Don't know what Stroud's basketball history is.
Probably pretty good.
I think soccer. Gary could take it there. Pitching.
Have we
accuracy,
seen Gary play
again,
soccer before?
No, but he's a fit, athletic guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think that's crazy.
Stroud with the pitching.
Pitching's tough.
I mean,
any time to me, the football players.
Anything that's going to be involved throwing.
Yeah. Now, different size ball that could affect it, But still, I'll probably lean.
Okay, how about Gary versus Drewski?
I mean, come on.
I think he's got to win. He's got to win that.
That'd be kind of look. If he comes home and he's like, Drewski beat me in
what about
QB skills.
What about Kevin Hart?
Again, yeah, he's gonna be Kevin Hart. Come on now.
Kevin Hart's actually a decent basketball player, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Well, it is around the world.
Yeah. Give me Gary.
It depends on who you get drawn up against.
I also know Gary hits the links, so give me Gary against the field and closest to the pin.
Yeah, there's actually no golfers here.
There's no golfers. So to me, that's an easy one. But give me him and closest to the pin.
I wonder if you get paired up with one athlete.
And he says he doesn't think that that's going to be the case.
And you do all 8
with them.
With them. And if you win that, then you go to the next round.
How about Gary versus Ray Asian Boy?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's on the scroller. Ray, look him up. I mean, maybe I don't see what he does. Ray Asian Boy.
Oh, there he is. He's a YouTuber. Okay. Sure.
Quavo's probably good at basketball.
Quavo, I don't know what Quavo's skill sets are, but
then you have like DeMar Hamlin, who's known for tackling and
right. That's the
is
thing.
he gonna be able to throw?
He's a defensive football player, so
a professional
defensive
professional NFL athlete.
Like, you're right. That's the thing.
You think he might have played quarterback in little Pee-wee days, maybe at some point?
Oh, 100%.
I think he goes out there pretty much every day of his life and has to catch balls and throw balls in practice.
This might be going. I might be completely wrong, but if you play in the NFL, you should be able to throw a tight spiral, right?
You would think so.
You think doesn't matter where you're playing.
What's the most ridiculous matchup that Gary can get? Like if he basically like around the horn with versus Kevin Durant would be a tough go.
Oh
right?
yeah, then it's a wrap.
It's just like what?
Yeah, a QB competition against Joe Burrow
against Patrick Mahomes,
and it's around the world. And I remember playing as a kid, and it's just like 4 or 5 spots. So I'm assuming you just can't miss, right? Yeah. You just have to keep hitting all the shots and get to the end of the thing.
Well, it's whoever gets to the end first, right?
There are
you'd have to play against somebody, right? They're not going to just do it by yourself.
There are also some MMA fighters in here as well, by the way.
But I mean, I don't think Durant misses a shot.
No,
so you would just have to make all your shots.
Yeah, just a tag.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman. But what about these? There's William Byron. There's William Byron.
William Byron.
He just sits down for his job.
Hendrick Motorsports, one of the best out there right now. But you're not going to be. You're not going to get him on the track. You'll beat him. He'll beat you on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
there's no.
I know
racing.
you're saying.
It should have been like a simulation or something.
I bet he's a great golfer.
Yeah, true.
But these guys are also in really good shape and they're athletes.
Well, what about
I know they sit
He's
down.
got to beat Sketch, right?
Got to be Sketch.
Well, not at playing video games.
Well, they're not playing video games.
That's true.
They're not playing video games.
But I would say that would be a good matchup.
DJ Khaled, I mean, we don't know. He might be a amazing basketball player. We don't know. But, does he make a shot at another one?
The Khaled, I know he posts a lot of stuff of him, like, with, like, a weight vest running on the beach and stuff and things like that. But I don't know. Just maybe I'm judging the book by its cover.
Kane Brown's there. Kane Brown. I mean, they're not doing a singing competition.
No.
Even though Gary's got some pipes, though.
So they got Denny Hamlin and William Byron.
Yeah. Got a couple of guys.
Aiden Ross is there. Aiden Ross.
Yeah.
Kai Sinet.
Aiden Ross, who now famous for, did you see Tyler Hero going on that stream the other day?
Mm-mm.
Oh, boy. Said, I don't believe in any history that happened before 1950.
That's what Tyler Hero
said that. And the guys on the stream were like, oh, you're joking, right? He's like, no.
So it's
I'm
all,
not joking.
in his mind, it's all
Yeah, nothing that happened before 1950 is real.
because there's no video of it?
I don't know. He just doesn't believe it.
Made
I
up.
believe there is video.
Yes. I was going to say, there
Some
are
videos.
He's like, there are movies that exist before 1950.
I believe there's a lot of video.
Right. Photos.
And then the WWE entrance against John Cena, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's
Look,
going to be tough.
This is not going to be easy. I
Actually, the entrance, the fans going against anybody on the entrance is going to be tough.
Yeah,
because
is it going to be like the loudest cheers from the fans?
You know what, though? I would almost get, like, if you can get the fans on your side as much as the athletes as a fan, that to me is like that is a win. Because the celebrities come in with their own baked in fan bases. They come in with a bit of an advantage already. Whereas a fan coming in and gets like as big a pop as, say, I don't know, Gronk going out there and doing it.
No, nobody's going to get a
But I'm
bigger
just
response
saying.
than Gronk.
I'm just
Gronk
saying.
is going to get a bigger.
Somebody's like,
or
whoa, okay.
Travis Scott
Sure.
coming through.
Well,
he might be an underdog in the WWE entrance.
Is that Cody Rhodes?
Cody
It's
Rhodes.
just not fair.
No, that's the point. They don't want anyone to win $1 million or a Ferrari or whatever it might be. They're not.
I Show Speed's actually a pretty good athlete too.
So I think Alex and I were talking about this from our social media team who will be out there. He thinks Speed is going to win, period. He thinks Speed is going to be the winner among all of these athletes.
Who?
So
I Show Speed.
Speed for short. He got known for being the guy who would like jump over cars that are going super fast. He challenges guys in races and wins all the time. He is legitimately a super fast athletic guy, obsessed with soccer. He's the kind of guy that like.
So he might win the soccer thing.
Is he a professional athlete? No, but is he like? When you look at all of these skills, can he do all of these? Yes, he can do. I believe he can do all of these pretty well. So just by law of averages, he might be the winner just because of that.
All right. I think
put your money on actual Speed.
I think we should. Who do you think is going to win? Throw it out there.
Which that's what I think it is. I think it's going to be Speed.
Speed.
Or
Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, let's be honest. Come on. Yeah, I shouldn't pick against our own team member.
If not, I'd like to see Draymond win it. You know,
I think a guy like Gronk is going to be tough to beat. On pretty much
How about
everything.
Logan Paul.
I could see like Tyreek Hill also maybe having a good run here.
Luckily,
there's
there's
really
there's no running really.
There isn't a speed competition. Yeah. So.
Oh, it actually tells you what to do. Here you go. QB skills: 10 throws, 1 money ball, hit stationary targets, and throw over obstacles. 5 throws at 10 yards, 3 points each. 5 throws at 20 yards, 7 points each. 1 throw at 30 yards is the money ball, 14 points, 16 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
60 seconds, sorry.
The quarterbacks in this in this competition have an extreme advantage for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Around the world, 15 shots in 90 seconds. 5 2-point shots equals 2 points each. 10 3-point shots equals 3 points each. NBA regulation 3-point line. So Gary's going to have to hit 10 3-point shots It's within.
That's
tough.
going to be really tough.
Let's see. FIFA goal scoring: 12 shots at goal targets in 2 minutes. 1 point for making it a goal. 5 points for lower 90 targets. 10 points for upper 90 targets. Can hit each target a max of 3 times. After that, it counts only as 1 point. Pitching accuracy: 10 pitches at strike zone targets. Points awarded for accuracy, not speed. Okay. 3 warm-up pitches allowed. Washer dryer: 20 pucks in 2 minutes. Dryer equals 5 points. Washer equals 10 points. Superstar entrance: 3 judges score your performance, 0 to 10 each. Yeah, you're clicking on it too. 3 judges score your performance. Judges criteria: performance, crowd reaction, and energy. Judges: Peter Rosenberg, Sam Roberts, and Megan Morant. Do we know who those are?
No.
Okay. 60-second time limits. 60-second time. UFC striking challenge: 2 punches, high score counts. Probably one of those machines, right? That you just have to hit.
Yeah, it's a punch machine.
It's a punch machine. So, and then Dick's closest to the pin. 5 shots to land on the green. 2 warm-up shots. Closer to the pin equals more points. 15 seconds per shot on a par 3 simulator.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a screen that you hit the ball into.
Yeah. It'll be one of those. Look, it's an interesting idea. Fun. It's going to be it's going to make for great content.
Well, there is guaranteed to be a fan that's going to win $100,000, right?
If no fan finishes in the top 3, highest scoring will receive $100,000. Minimum $100,000.
When do we get the roster of?
It says the time
fans?
they're in the game. Details on the fans who are joining the roster will be announced this Friday, June 13th.
Well, they've been TikTok. Come on. Anyway, it's very interesting. A nice little addition to the year's schedule. I do have a full schedule of. Well, that's Saturdays, so that's just Saturday. There's a lot going on.
When is this event? Is it?
I think it's throughout the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's just throughout the entire weekend that's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't show it on the actual schedule. So, but there is some cold as balls out there. Victor Wembanyama and Kevin Hart, Tom Brady and Kevin Hart, special guest and Kevin Hart. I mean, there's Rich Eisen's out there. Yeah, Keegan Michael Key. Yeah, it's going to be insane. I mean, I thought last year was big. It's bigger. It's bigger this year.
I mean, just looking in general at the lineup, especially going hard with a lot of the big athlete podcasts, like there's a lot more of that going on this year. You've got First Take that's going to be there on Friday morning. That's going to be doing a live show as well.
They did that last year, yeah.
Yep, they're going to do that again. The Kevin Hart stuff. Looks like, and they're doing once again the boxing press conference like they did last year with Logan Paul, Mike Tyson. It's going to be a Canelo one, Canelo, Terrence Crawford. Yeah.
Oh, and they also have, for you guys that are going, and they did this last year, but I think the prizes are better this year, Best Dressed Fan Contest. So, wherever you want to dress up as. I know we saw like a lot of like Jose Canseco lookalikes, Mark McGuire. There was people, the prize, you'll win 2 tickets to Super Bowl in Santa Clara. Round trip airfare for 2 to San Jose International Airport. 2 nights stay.
The finest.
2 nights stayed at Levi Stadium, near Levi Stadium. 2 tickets to Fanatics Super Bowl party. 2 tickets to the FIFA World Cup final. 2 ringside tickets to WrestleMania, which apparently is in Vegas again.
It might be in Vegas forever going forward.
And 2 VIP tickets to Fanatics Fest 2026. Athlete meet and greet your choice with confirmed 2026 talent. That's a pretty big prize just for dressing up. So, and I think this is where we're seeing, like, we've been talking about the National. The Nationals is like the same every year, right? We've got, people selling cards and athletes signing, and it's kind of the same thing. This is like pushing the envelope. We have the Fanatics games. You have the best dressed. You have Mitchell and Ness is out there. Nike's out. I mean, there's just everybody's out there, right? So it's like we'll see how this one goes. So I'm actually wasn't going to go, and now I am. I'll be out there Thursday night, flying back Saturday night. So
there you go.
So I'll miss Sunday if there's anything going on Sunday, but I'll be.
Sunday it tends to always be the getaway day anyway for these types of events. Anything that you feel like should be, you hope that. I feel like you guys came back and it was just like nothing but praises of like, that was one of the coolest events ever. But like, is there anything that can be improved on for year 2 for Fanatics Fest that you hope they do?
I mean, the drops were a little different. I mean, they're going to have more drops this year. I know it's going to be an EQL type situation where you enter in online. So I was hoping for a little bit more of that. But did look like they expanded the card portfolio. The people that are selling cards, I mean, the people that are set up like us, we're set up there. Leighton's set up there. I mean, there's a lot of everybody's pretty much there. It looks like Beckett's there grading, but no PSA that I saw. I could be
Beckett
wrong.
coming back.
Interesting.
And I think CGC's also there as well, which we know that they're kind of tight with Fanatics on certain things.
Of course, because you believe any of the rumors over the last few days that PSA, GameStop was going to buy PSA, but that's been put to bed.
Yeah.
We'll probably pick that up in next week's episode. That's an interesting little development.
They were so close to signing that deal, and they saw Backyard was there, and they're like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Backyard was there again today.
Wow, really?
Yeah. At PSA? Jesus.
Breaking some Bowman Sapphire.
Cool.
Yep. Gotta love it.
It is, they're, I got a little bit of a theory, but I'm not gonna.
We'll reserve it.
I'll reserve that.
Yeah, the only thing that sucked last year was the travel back for us, which is obviously not the Javits or Fanatics Fest's problem.
Well, the travel there is not all great either.
Nah, it's not great.
You can't get any further away than where we're sitting right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's far.
So
it's far. At least you get the 3 hours back when you come back. I enjoy that, getting that time back.
That's true.
But
get it back.
Got to make sure there's no thunder and lightning storm.
Yeah, but getting used to the time zone for me, if I'm going to try to make it to the 7 a.m. entry, it's going to be a 4 a.m. time really for me. And then trying to go to bed at a normal hour, you're just all screwed up,
Come on, it's a city that never sleeps.
I know.
Why even want to sleep?
Maybe I won't.
Yeah.
So and we got like I said, we got the buybacks. If you're out there, we have a $50 buyback, which includes a card, a pack, and a $50 credit to Mojobreak.com. So you're guaranteed $50 back in a sense to get into a break, and then you can chase the cards and the packs that are going to be there. We're going to have the shirts. We're going to be breaking that 50 box. So it should be an awesome time, and definitely looking forward to it. We're going to be throwing our party in Chicago for those that are going to the National. We're going to have a special guest. We're going to be doing karaoke again, open bar, right next to the National. So look out for an email if you're on our email list. If you're not, hit us up if you want to get entry into that party. If you're going to the National, we're going to be throwing that party on Thursday at the hotel connected to the National. So that'll be fun. As long, a little customer appreciation party. We have a special guest, and it'll be a blast for those that remember it from 2 years ago. And, so I think we got to get into this interview, right? So we got Ian McKesson, sketch artist for Topps, coming right at you.
Excited to have on Ian McKesson. We got to meet Ian last year back at now what's the West Coast Card Show. It was the Burbank show at the time. Talked to you a little bit about your background, but Ian is a sketch artist for Topps. You've seen his work in baseball products. You've seen MLB, soccer, now Star Wars. We've seen some Disney stuff as well. It's been really cool. Some of the some really, really cool sketches. So Ian, first off, how's it going, man? Welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man, Cody, great to see you again. I really appreciate the time you put. Met you at that Burbank card show. It was the first card show I ever went to, actually, and I appreciated you kind of into what I was doing and spend some time over there with me, and love to check back in now, because at the time I was only working on Star Wars products. I was doing a lot of that kind of graffiti card art that I still do. And since then, which is really almost only a year later, almost not even a year, I'm in baseball products, series 2 that just came out. I'm in soccer products this year, Marvel, Disney products that come out later this year. So it's kind of taken off for me a little bit, and really grateful for the opportunities and stuff that I get to work on that, my son and I are collectors. So this is super fun for me. I'm really grateful I get to be in there.
I want to hear all about the new sets that you're going to be featured in. Before we go any further, and we did get a little bit when we talked to you last year, just a little bit about your background, but now we got a little more time to really expand on that here on the podcast. So just for those who are maybe have just seen some of your work or are not familiar with your work, just give us your journey here, how you went from how you got your art into these products, and now featured in, you just mentioned it, going to be featured in so many, basically the whole line here, the whole lineup of Topps IP that they have is pretty incredible. So just give us a little bit of background how you got here.
Sure, dude. Thank you, man. So, art kid, always accepted to art school, but ended up going to hair school because it was 1 year of school for a lot less money. So, and my wife and I have owned hair salons for the last 18 years and do very well with that, fortunately. So that's the day job, but always have been doing art on the side for different projects and what have you. And in quarantine in 2020, like the rest of the world, we got shut down and couldn't work. We're in California, so we were not working. So I was stuck at home with everybody else trying to figure out how to maintain sanity. And I picked up wood burning randomly, just like as a hobby to make some Christmas gifts, and got really into it, got like nerdy about it. And I was really in skateboarding. I was in skateboarding for a long time in my life, and as a sponsored skateboarder, working in skateboarding and just like that whole life. So I got featured in Thrasher magazine. They gave me a full like 2-page spread of stuff, like wood burning stuff I did. And this was right at the end of, quarantine COVID. And I had just seen what Topps was doing with all that like Project 2020, Project 70 stuff. And it just hyped me out that they were doing all this like art collabs and recreated rookie cards and stuff that I was really into nostalgic wise, and like living for those 90s days again. And so I just sent a bunch of stuff, like literally cold called the art department with like, here's some stuff. And they got back to me pretty quick and were like, do you want to work on Star Wars? And I was like, yes, I 100% do. Okay, we have an opening sketch cards. Do you want to work on sketch cards? I was like, yes, I do. What are those? No idea what they were. And I literally thought what that meant was that I was going to do, 5x7 or 8x10 drawings. They were going to shrink them down and reproduce them like Galaxy or something. And it turns out they're like, no, we send you card size blank cards and you draw right on there. And I was like, okay, yep, let's do that. So then I, traced some cards onto some watercolor paper and started practicing. And, when I look back at the very first set I did, which was Galaxy 2022 for Star Wars, I can see that I've come a long way, and I've kind of failed out there in public a little bit, but I'm all for just contributing now and putting yourself out there and saying yes and trying it and seeing if you can't get better at it. And the motivation / like, honestly, like I got a lot better because I've been doing so many of them, and it was it's motivating. It's a little bit daunting at first to just know that, maybe I'm not there yet, but I'm just going to say yes and try and get there. But yeah, I would say that's probably the easiest, shortest version of the events that have led me to now. And then again, I keep getting more and more opportunities and more with Topps taking on more licenses and other stuff. There, it seems to just be more and more opportunities, and it's been an amazing ride for me so far.
I think that wood burning stuff you were showing is really cool. I mean, it would be cool to be like, hey, Topps, if they have those lumber cards we've seen in like Series 2, stuff like that. I'd be like, cool to get something, to kind of bring those two worlds together, right?
100%. So this is a Cold Palmer.
There you go.
These are like little cards that we found that I did as a Cal Ripken I'm working on. This was a Star Wars one. Like, we found these little cards, and I'm just like, man, these would be kind of, they fit in 130 point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been trying. Trust me, I'm throwing it in the system, trying to get them to sneak those back into like Masterworks or museum collection. They feel like they'd be good inserts in there.
Oh yeah, I think collectors would collectors in general, just sketch cards. They're always a fan favorite. They always pop. They're just, they're so unique, and we're always so obsessed with this is a one of a kind or whatever.
Right. And it's the original of it too. I think that's what. I mean, I can't tell you how many times still people that have been collecting for a while don't realize that it's the actual card that we drew on. It's not a reproduction of it at all. It's not a printed out copy. It is literally the card that we put pencil and paint on. And so you have a little piece of art, master piece of art, It's a collection.
Exactly. Yeah. It just, like I said, that's an authenticity, something that you can't get anywhere else. It's what collectors always are wild about. Speaking of collecting, I always like to ask everybody just your kind of collector history, your card history, whatever that might be, as a kid or throughout your life. What were you collecting? What do you collect? How'd you get the itch to get in the hobby?
Well, look, I've been a nerdy collector my whole life, as far as like just too much stuff, records since I was 15. But it definitely 100% started with baseball cards in the 80s. I mean, getting the Dwight Gooden 86 card for Topps with my dad, like going to multiple different like shops to keep trying to open packs till we got that Dwight Gooden. It's something like I still remember to this day, and I was 7. And, you know, there was such a nostalgic factor for it. Just like a lot of other people, I kind of lost it for a long time in the middle there, at least with cards. But it was always something I was collecting. And you've asked my wife, it's everything, you know. But so it's just kind of taken different little roads. But it's the same idea in the same place to find that like unique, one of a kind something or something that's valuable, or opening something and winning a lottery ticket kind of thing is just a super fun experience that I've always enjoyed. And trying to put a set together or get a bunch of the same team or players or artist has been something I've always kind of tried to do. So I think that's where it started. And that's the part of my brain that continues these days. Because now my son, who's 16, he played a lot of soccer. We got to go to Madrid for a soccer camp that he got invited to last year. So heavily involved in like soccer as a sport. I'm the assistant coach of his club soccer team. And so we got way into collecting soccer cards just within the last like 2 years, year and a half to 2 years, realistically. And so that's our big like break jumping into world, is the soccer card game for us.
Yeah, that's everybody you talk to. It always feels like just wait till, especially stateside, 2026 World Cup comes around, and we all talk about the market is going to boom.
I totally think so. And I think it's already, even since I've been involved in it, when it was kind of hard to find some soccer cards and releases, and even to what it is now, even at like card shows that I've started to go to, way more of an, same with Star Wars, actually, like way more of them with other sellers, with some of those cards now at almost every big booth, as well as like certain specific tables just to that.
Yeah, it is. I think the knowledge and the like, just the visibility of soccer in general in the United States is just so much higher than it was even, 5-10 years ago. So it's only a matter of time, and it's already, like you said, it's already happening. And I'm glad you mentioned the pop culture stuff too, because we on our podcast are always kind of hyping up the pop culture stuff because it's so fun. It's been this niche in this hobby for a while, but I think things are really changing there. We're actually talking to you as Topps Crow Marvel has a set that just came out today.
I got 6 in there.
Oh my gosh, have fun with it. We opened the box and immediately was like, man, people are going to go nuts for this stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty. So nice. They're doing a good job too, I think, Topps, since they got the license, of like just very attractive looking cards and the combination of everything that they're putting in there. It's fun. It's easy to get wrapped up in. And that's what I've found for my son and I. Just like, we got fully immersed back in all of them, just from getting involved either as a sketch card artist in something, or even just because we really like soccer. We're big Manchester United fans. So it was easy for us to just sort of like know enough about soccer that when we started opening these cards, we're like, oh, like this is right up our alley. And now it's overwhelmed my house. I spin my camera around, but it's just my whole like jerseys and card cases, and it's funny.
And that's what it's all about too, is also that connection to kids, your son, that something you can introduce to him, and then you'll introduce it down the road, to their kids and all that. And that's what this hobby is all about, right there.
I think so. Sure.
Yeah, 100%. I want to get back to talking about sort of the influx of pop culture stuff we've had, because you mentioned it. I saw some of your stuff on Instagram. You're posting up of, hey, I got the chance to do Disney cards, Pixar cards. This is crazy. So to go from, where you were doing Star Wars stuff, obviously such a cool, surreal experience, but now you're like doing your own interpretations of Buzz Lightyear and Mickey Mouse. Like, how surreal is that? And just to be able to have that chance to do your own spin on some of the most iconic characters of all time.
I mean, that's exactly it. It's like anybody like me that learned how to draw since, born in 79. So in the 80s, we learned how to draw by trying to draw TIE fighters and Luke Skywalker and Yoda and Mickey Mouse, and then obviously into all the Pixar stuff. So like the amount of time as a kid that I was just trying to recreate Mickey Mouse's 3 circles, to like now being able to actually put those out as licensed illustrations on Disney cards that have to be approved by somebody at Disney and have to be approved by somebody at Lucasfilm. They have to at least look at the piece of art that I did of their intellectual property that's meant a lot to me. So it's dreamland. I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity and that I can try to reimagine them. Obviously, there's not a lot of leeway, especially when it comes to Disney characters of like, they don't need you to try to recreate your own new Mickey Mouse. That's not the job, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just make a cool looking Mickey Mouse with some cool background that might fit your style. Which again, that kind of stuff actually works well for me because it allows me to really take the intellectual property or something that we've seen a lot and try to just make it look a lot like that, but maybe with some of my things that have influenced me, like street art and a little bit of graffiti or a little bit of like bright colors. And what's really cool for me is to see how many other artists interpret that same thing. We're drawing pretty much the same image, but how different they can look when it's really the same identical Mickey Mouse,
Yeah, exactly. I see it too. Like I'm a big Disney. I go to Disney parks all the time. I love it. I love that stuff. And they have these awesome like shops where they feature people doing like these great art galleries with tons of really cool interpretations of the characters. So yeah, you said it right there. It's like you don't want to go so far outside the box where it's almost unrecognizable, but it's cool.
You just won't. They just won't get through. But it's definitely. Sometimes just having some sort of semblance of a box is good with art, I think, because if it gets a little too out there, it can live out there and be something completely different. So again, I think it's understanding the project that you're working on and working within those limits or towards a goal that still, again, can work with the confines, but also become something unique and still like someone could look at that and I think be able to tell like, oh, that's Ian's art. Whether before they see my name or not. And that's always a cool factor when you get to a point with your art that people can recognize it without having to look for the name per se.
Yeah. I want to hear about the process of you making your art. You showed me before we started recording here. You're right there at your desk where everything happens. You got all your materials. You were just featured in series 2. So let's just kind of go over one, I would love to see some of those artist proofs of what you had in series 2 that we've been ripping open and seeing what's going on there. But also just when Topps reaches out to you and says, hey, we want you to be in series 2. There you go. Right there to our viewers at home. Some of those look great. Is that the Ohtani there right in the middle, or is that
this one's Freddie Freeman? It's funny.
Freeman. Okay,
everybody, it gets that a lot. When you bring it closer, you can really tell what it is.
Because I was gonna say that can't be Ohtani. That's the walk-off grand slam right there.
Yeah, this actually was from series 1, and I did this one the night that he hit that home run. And funny enough, underneath Freddie here is a pencil drawing of Giancarlo Stanton because he hit a home run early in that game. And I was watching the game live from right here in the seat, and I was kind of working on it. And then I kind of set it aside because the game took a turn, and then obviously it took a massive turn when this happened. And so I had just drawn the Freddie on there, the back more larger version of Freddie. And I kept, I was working on it. But then throughout the night, I'm still up. I was up till like 3. This image started getting all over Twitter, all over Instagram. And I was like, all right, dude, I got to throw this on top. So threw that right on top. So that, again, that's what's so fun about some of these projects I'm doing. Like, they don't come out for 3 or 4 months later, but I can be working on them in a kind of current affairs almost sort of way, to some degree. Series 1 was all players that were still playing. It had to be, there was no retired or Hall of Famers or anything. Series 2, which just came out, that's what allowed me to do a little bit more of, players that had been retired. It was a very specific list. It wasn't just like do anybody, but it was a great list for me as far as players that have meant, chasing this kid's card when he came out is, an unforgettable kid memory for me. So that was pretty cool for them to let us do a little bit more of a list of unique and retired and Hall of Famers, as well as any current players.
So that is so the process. Topps comes to you and says, hey, here's the list of guys that we want to include sketches of. And then is it either these are the ones you're going to do, or like you can kind of pick and choose, like, well, you want to do your own interpretation of this guy, that guy, whatever you want to do.
Yep. basically that. So almost every set that I've done for them, it's just a list of players, and you can go find Getty images or go find photos you like of that particular player or that you think would fit your style, which is always a cool thing to do, because I think that all of us look for more like what we think we do best now. And that's what another thing I've learned from doing these over the last couple of years is like what I actually do better. And so finding pictures that I think really kind of can help me work towards that goal. And like for example, on this Jackie Robinson, this is a super famous Jackie Robinson photograph, but it's in black and white and it's zoomed out. He's throwing. So we've all seen this photo like a bazillion times, but I didn't want to just do it black and white. I wanted to see, I was like, I think I can get the coloring right if I just like look at these other pictures of him. And so I used the black and white picture, zoomed it way in, worked off of that, and then obviously kind of superimposed the color in a way that I thought would work. And it feels like it worked for me. And that's, again, those are fun projects and ideas when you're trying stuff and learning as you're going to. That's another thing for me with different materials over the past few years. I've started to incorporate an airbrush and watercolor, a lot of alcohol markers. That's what all those are. Those are like $8 each too, by the way. And there's just rows, like rows and rows of those things in my house now. But again, the learning the combination, learning what the different materials that I can kind of work together to create an original, unique image is half the fun for sure.
What's been the biggest challenge when Topps came to you and said, "Hey, can you do one of these?" Where you went, "Boy, I don't know how I'm gonna knock this one out, but I'll try." I mean,
well, like, look, when you're
that Bobby Witt right there, where you're doing it within like a different die cut design, and obviously the detail is really cool on that.
Thanks. Yeah, this was again another one where I was like, dude, I just love this picture of his hair and the Gatorade bath at the end of a game, and like, man, if I could make that work and look cool, I'd be stoked. But I didn't know water's tough, and like liquid, like exploding is tough. But I gave it a shot, and I ended up really, kind of liking how it came out, the two different colors of the Gatorade and just Bobby's hair and everything. So, I mean, the reality is, again, these are small, and these are what we have to work directly on. So, like, there's the size of my finger, and there's his face, right? And so, like, for example, with that Freddie, especially the walking Freddie, like, the camera's this way, like that is small, his face. And if you really look at this close, like it looks like Freddie enough that one fat line, one too much pressure, and you kind of, it's back to the drawing board a little bit. They don't give you any extra cards. It's not like, oh, mess that one up, I'll just start another one. If you agree to do, let's say 30 cards, which is how many I did for Series 2, they send you 33. And that means that 3 of them are artist proofs, meaning that those 3 are the 3 that I have here are essentially part of the payment structure. They allow me to keep those. And once the set has been released, I can sell them, or I can show them, or I can keep them. I can do whatever I want. But those are my extra 3, essentially 10% of how many I agree to do for Topps is how many I can do. So I get 33. So if I mess one up, I guess that's one of mine.
Right.
I have to send them back. I'm contracted to send them back 30 unique individual Series 2 baseball cards. So that's always tricky, is that making sure, especially early on, a little like daunting to make sure I didn't spill my coffee on next to one, or, fat thumb something. And then and I've definitely done it where like, I just kind of made that eye not look like Princess Leia's eye. And it's hard to come back. I'm spending the next hour just trying to kind of put some colors around. It's tough.
Yeah, I could imagine. And obviously doing things on the fly. How often is that happening? Like with the Freeman card you mentioned, on the fly, figuring out, I have got to shift what I'm doing with this card.
Not very often in that case. That was so unique that was the first set of baseball that they had sent to me. It was during obviously the World Series. So I did like 3 or 4 cards for Series 1 that I had of Judge, of Kike Hernandez, of Yamamoto during the World Series that I could do. That happened to be, I had got the cards a few days before the World Series started, so I could do a few of those during the actual World Series, which, that's pretty unique and awesome. I mean, some of the cards we get, obviously they're going to come out later that same year, and we could incorporate something that's happening. But like, for example, with Star Wars, like Andor 2's already ended, of course. Unbelievable show, loved it. But the Star Wars stuff we're working on right now, we cannot include that yet. And so have to kind of wait till they usually will do something where they'll debut some cards that involve the characters from that show. And then once those they've made it into a set, then we can use whatever the newest show was. So there's not a lot of times where I can actually use like what just happened or what we just watched and instantly kind of try to get it back out there. But that was a unique one that was kind of really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah, makes it all the more special.
I think
when you
for
see
sure.
that.
That's why this one will be hard for me to ever like leave. And I'm not a Dodger guy, to be honest. But it's so like unique for the moment. The MVP, I even put that on there. So like this is the very first set of baseball I ever got to do, which as a kid that collected baseball cards, to actually finally get to work on in Topps packs of baseball cards, to like go to my local card shop and buy a box that might have my own autograph in it is still a total trip.
Yeah, so I can imagine. Still surreal. That's really, really cool. That I want to ask you a few more questions before we let you go, but I do want to see. I want to ask. We've talked about all these things you've had a chance to work on. Is there anything still, either a sport or a movie or a show or something that you would be like, man, I would love to do a sketch of that? Anything on your bucket list still?
That's an amazing question. Funny enough, like baseball and soccer for me were like the reason I reached out to Topps. And I had been working on Star Wars for 2.5 years. And I would, every like 6 months, I would send in some new, like, here's some updated work of some baseball cards that I had just practiced done. And no real response, nothing new. And then, so finally, literally this year, to be able to work on soccer in official soccer products, in official baseball products, as well as Star Wars. I would say those three things specifically are like top of the food chain bucket list for me. So what's next after that? I don't even know maybe like Jason Lee, like Mallrats, like super unique. Like it would be real weird for me, like skateboarding, obviously I'm big into skateboarding. So any correlation that involved skateboarding would always be a real fun project for me. Again, trying to get those wood burnings into a project of any sort would be kind of a dreamland concept for me. But I already feel like I get to work on Disney, Star Wars, baseball, and soccer for me as someone who likes to draw. Those are like probably the most things I've ever drawn in my life, and I'm already getting that. So I'm lucky already, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to top a lot of the things that are already out there. It's true, but you mentioned that would be really cool, like your connection to and love for skateboarding and skating. Like it would be cool to have if Topps were ever to do some sort of set. I don't know what it would be.
And even like that, like Allen and Ginter concept, right? Where they occasionally incorporate like Tony Hawk and other people from other outside, just kind of pop culture awareness that'd be a place where I think it would kind of fit in there.
Yeah. Hey, I'm giving out free ideas to Topps. You want to tap into our nostalgia? There's a whole generation that played Tony Hawk Pro Skater and thinks it's the greatest thing of all time. A whole roster of cards with all the skaters from that. I'm just throwing it out there, Topps.
100.
That would be, I would buy that set the moment.
Even like those unique kind of like where they just recently did that Garbage Pail Kids with Kevin Smith.
Yes,
like even a small thing like that was like maybe like again Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Garbage Pail Kid. I don't even know, like something like that would be so it'd be locked up on all of us. No kid, like none of our kids would be able to get it. All the dads are like, nope.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Get a Tony Hawk set. It sounds like Ball Rats or a Clerk set. Let's get that too. Let's get it all going. That would be amazing
for me.
Real last one out the door here. Anything that you could share with us that you kind of mentioned, things you're working on here, things you have with Topps future sets, anything that you could share with us that is right now cooking with Topps and stuff that you're working on?
There's some contractual agreements that get dicey as far as like the only time I ever feel confident talking about something that I've worked on that isn't common knowledge yet is when I finally see like Cardboard Connection or you guys or somebody talk about like we're hearing like this release date, this set has been like set up for release. And a lot of times, honestly, I don't even somebody else will tell me a set that I worked on is, hey, that's coming out in a couple weeks. And I'm like, what? I'd never even. So So that's a little tricky, right? But like, I do think that they've announced a lot of the Disney stuff that's coming out. Some of the other specific stuff. It's so tricky, dude. I'd hate to like throw something out there and find out that like, maybe we're not supposed to talk about that yet.
Yeah.
But again, most of what I work on is within these same little worlds between baseball, soccer, Star Wars, Disney, a couple other little things. But I'm just stoked on how much stuff they're kind of putting out now, and and how many opportunities they're giving us as sketch card artists to contribute to different facets. And I think with next year, with even more licensing, basketball and other stuff, I hope they continue to give us opportunities to work in all those too.
Yeah, I would definitely be excited to see some stuff pop up. Yeah, with NBA and NFL licenses going to be coming very, very soon for Topps. So hopefully an opportunity to work on those as well. Here's actually got one last one for you. I think I kind of asked you something to this effect last year at the show, but now you've had another year where you've had all of these other products and licenses that you've been able to work with. So just considering where you said everything kind of changed during 2020 when you had to make pivots, and here you are now making this amazingly cool cards for Topps. So just advice to anybody who is maybe pursuing a career in art, who maybe is either frustrated of where things are going or are like or maybe stuck or whatever it might be, of just advice you would just kind of pass on to them of to stick with it, or what you would tell them if they're maybe looking at their future here of what to expect.
Yeah, man. Thank you for bringing that question back from a year ago too, because I even look back on like what I answered a year ago, and it's still totally true, and it's unbelievable to me the opportunities that are kind of coming onto my plate now. And again, I go back to just saying yes to it, whether you think you can do it or not, because you definitely won't find out if you don't try. It can promise you that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, if we want to Kobe it. But there's no question that trying stuff, even if it's out in the public eye or out there, will get you better at it for sure. And that comes with confidence. That comes with seeing cool experiences when cards are pulled. Like these experiences I've had now of like a father and son in Norway that pulled the Lionel Messi I had, and this kid has Messi posters up in his room. It's like, it's a unique, like unforgettable moment for that father and son that, my card had a hand in. And I'll never get those experiences if I had just said, no, I'm going to wait until I feel like I'm really ready. I just think getting out there and saying yes and trying to do it and allowing yourself the space to know that it's okay to be honest with yourself, to get better, but also that contributing is half the battle sometimes, and not being your own harshest critic so much that you don't give yourself opportunities. Because I've been that guy in the past for myself, and I just got out of my own way during that whole like silver lining of COVID was like, I'm really going to try to do this now. Like I've blocked myself more than anybody else has blocked me, but I'm just going to say yes and try it. And then, if it doesn't work out, if I don't get asked back, then that's fine. But if the opposite has happened for me with Topps, and I keep getting asked into new stuff, and it seems to be well received by how it seems to be going on the secondary market, and how these experiences I get to have with people I've met. And that's kind of all I wanted more than anything as an opportunity, was to be involved and to create more of a community and have more of a reason to stay involved in this thing that my son and I are way into right now. And that's all happened and continues to happen.
Well, I can tell you that from a collector standpoint, we're very happy that you got involved in this hobby, because the artwork is awesome. I can't get over that Freeman card. It's really, really cool. It's one of the cooler ones. So excited to see more artwork popping up in more Topps products. In the meantime, where can we find you? Let us know, social media, all that. If you're going to be at any upcoming shows, where can we find more?
Yeah, man, I'm going to be at the National for the first time ever. I'm really excited. If you're going to be out there, we got to meet up. This year is all about just like saying hi to everybody that I've met online. I don't have anything unique. I do have a table at the soccer card show, which will be really fun for me. But other than that, it's kind of just bouncing around to people I've talked to and would love to actually meet in person. The West Coast Card Show has given me another table in Artist Alley for August this year, I believe it is.
Awesome.
So again, excited to be. That one's been amazing for me. First card show I ever went to. That's where I met you at, I think, in September last year. So those are the next 2 real card shows I'll be at. But I'm on Instagram. That's where I post everything I can, and I try to get back to everybody as fast as I can. I do a lot of stuff directly for people and try to, get as much of my art out there as possible. I do go on that Whatnot app about once a week and try to do some live art. So that's been another real fun community I've been able to meet and make. And that's probably those are probably the best outlets for me.
There you go. Well, that's exciting. I know I will not be personally on the National this year, unfortunately, but we'll have our whole team out there. We got to get a connection for sure. That would be really cool.
Would love to.
Yeah, the National's something else. It
sounds like. I'm excited though.
It is a blast. So very excited for you that you're going to be out there. And Ian, thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you down the road.
For sure, Cody. Thanks again, brother. Good luck. Mojobreak. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into today's show. Hopefully, we'll see you at Fanatics Fest. Look out in your email for the RSVP for our party at the National at the end of July, which is going to be an awesome time. And we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.